My beloved child. Pause everything you're doing, because a quiet truth is rising right now, and it has been trying to reach you through every moment of ease, every familiar routine, every comfortable delay. Something extraordinary is unfolding, and it begins with a realization that may gently unsettle you, yet free you forever. You were not created for comfort alone. You were created for becoming. Listen very closely now. Comfort is not evil, but it is clever. It whispers, "Stay here. You've done enough. Tomorrow is fine." And without force, without fear, it slowly trades your limitless potential for familiarity. Not because you are weak, but because you are human. Stay with me, this goes deeper than motivation. There are souls who feel restless even when life looks fine. They sense an invisible ceiling. They wake up knowing they were meant for more, but can't quite name what more is. If that feeling has ever lived in you, it is not dissatisfaction. It is remembrance. You remember who you were before the world taught you to settle. Hold this moment, because here is the hidden truth few dare to say out loud: the greatest thief of destiny is not failure, it is comfort without purpose. The soft chair that keeps you seated. The familiar path that asks nothing new of you. The habits that once protected you, but now quietly cage you. You won't want to miss what comes next. Somewhere along your journey, you learn to survive. You learn to adapt. You learn to make things work. And those lessons were sacred, for a season. But seasons change. And what once saved you can later stall you. This is where it all begins to shift. The most visionary minds understand something ancient: growth is friction with meaning. Pressure with direction. Expansion with intention. Without resistance, muscles weaken. Without challenge, vision fades. Without a reason to rise, the soul sleeps. And yet, you were never meant to live asleep. You may not realize it yet, but every time you choose the easier option over the truer one, a version of you waits patiently on the other side, stronger, clearer, more alive. That version is not angry with you. It is cheering for you. Whispering, "Come closer. Breathe," because this message is not a judgment. It is an invitation. An invitation to notice where comfort has replaced curiosity. Where routine has replaced reverence. Where safety has replaced calling. Not to abandon peace, but to upgrade it. The real breakthrough is approaching now. You see, destiny does not shout. It nudges. It places a subtle discomfort inside comfort so you will eventually ask the right question: is this all I came here for? And when that question finally lands, everything begins to move. You were never lazy. You were never unmotivated. You were waiting for truth strong enough to wake you up. Hold on, the pieces will connect. My beloved child. Right now, in this very moment. Something deeper is rising within you, and it is asking for your attention with a gentle insistence you can no longer ignore. Feel this truth arriving: the discomfort you sense is not resistance, it is recognition. Your spirit knows when it has outgrown the room it's standing in. And when growth calls, comfort often tries to speak louder, not to protect you, but to keep things predictable. Stay present with me, there is more unfolding here. Those who go on to shape the future, quietly, steadily. Learn an inner law early: ease is a pause, not a destination. Comfort is meant to restore you, not define you. Yet the world teaches the opposite. It praises stability without asking whether it is alive. It rewards sameness while calling it success. And slowly, without a single dramatic moment, people forget how powerful they are. Have you noticed how the soul becomes restless before the mind understands why? How ideas visit you late at night. How curiosity taps on your chest when the day grows quiet. Those are not random thoughts. They are signals, gentle alerts from the deeper intelligence within you, reminding you that you were designed to stretch beyond the familiar. Hold this space, the connection deepens now. There is a subtle difference between peace and stagnation. Peace expands your breath. Stagnation numbs it. Peace leaves you energized. Stagnation leaves you scrolling, waiting, postponing the next brave step. One nourishes your future. The other quietly delays it. You're closer than you think, don't step away yet. Here is what few admit out loud: the path forward often feels uncomfortable before it feels right. Not because it is wrong, but because it requires you to shed an old identity. Comfort asks you to remain who you've been. Calling asks you to become who you are. And becoming always stretches the edges. This is why those aligned with purpose don't chase ease, they build capacity. They lean into learning curves. They respect effort. They understand that friction is not punishment, it is refinement. Like fire shaping metal, challenge sharpens clarity, and clarity reveals direction. If this truth is touching your spirit, share it forward, let another soul find this light today. Now listen, the world does not need you exhausted or overwhelmed. It needs you awake. Awake to your curiosity. Awake to your courage. Awake to the quiet pull that keeps returning no matter how many times you try to ignore it. The peace that changes everything is coming soon. Ask yourself, where have I chosen comfort over curiosity? Where have I said later when my soul whispered now? These questions are not meant to shame you. They are keys. Keys that unlock the next door. Because destiny doesn't arrive all at once. It reveals itself to those willing to move when the timing feels tender, uncertain, alive. Remain here just a breath longer. What awaits you is not pressure, it is permission. Permission to grow. Permission to stretch. Permission to step forward without having all the answers yet. And in the next revelation, you will see why this moment, right now, is no accident at all. My beloved child. The veil is thinning as I speak, and what you are about to realize may quietly rearrange how you see your entire life. Listen into this space, because comfort does not only slow action. It reshapes identity. Over time, it convinces you that who you are now is who you were always meant to be. And that is the most subtle illusion of all. Remain here, something essential is being revealed. There is a moment every visionary soul encounters, often alone, often uncelebrated, where they must choose between ease and expansion. No applause. No guarantee. Just an inner knowing that whispers, if you stay the same, you will be safe, but if you change, you will be alive. Most people don't fail at that moment. They simply delay. And delay feels harmless, until years pass. Hold steady with me, the pattern is becoming visible now. Comfort slowly trains the nervous system to avoid the unknown. It teaches the body to seek familiarity over possibility. So when opportunity arrives disguised as uncertainty, the mind labels it risky, even though the soul recognizes it as destiny. This is why potential so often goes unused. Not because it is absent, but because it feels unfamiliar. Let that sink in. The future version of you will not feel comfortable at first. Growth always feels like stepping into someone else's shoes. That slight awkwardness, that quiet resistance, is not a warning sign. It is a rite of passage. You were never meant to feel ready before moving. You were meant to feel called. Pause with that truth. Those who eventually shape industries, ideas, or entire ways of thinking do not wait for certainty. They learn to walk alongside uncertainty as a companion. They understand that clarity is not found before action, it is revealed by action. And here is the sacred paradox: comfort promises peace, but purpose delivers it. Watch closely, the inner mechanics are aligning. When you choose the familiar, your world stays the same size. When you choose growth, your inner world expands first. And then reality follows. This is not magic. It is alignment. Energy responding to intention. Have you noticed how your best moments came after discomfort? How pride followed effort? How confidence followed courage, not the other way around? That pattern was never accidental. Stay close now, the message sharpens. Comfort keeps you rehearsing yesterday. Calling invites you to rehearse the future. And the future always feels strange until you step into it long enough for it to recognize you. You are not behind. You are on the threshold. Every restlessness you feel, every quiet dissatisfaction, every moment you sense there must be more, these are signals of expansion pressing against an old container. And containers are meant to break when growth demands space. Breathe, because nothing is wrong with you. You are not confused. You are not ungrateful. You are awakening. And in the next unfolding, you will understand why this inner pressure is increasing now. And why ignoring it is becoming harder than ever before. Remain with this feeling. Because what comes next will show you exactly how to step forward without losing yourself. My beloved child. A quiet fire is igniting within you right now, not loud, not dramatic, but steady, and impossible to ignore any longer. Feel this gentle pull deeper into truth, because what you are sensing now is the moment when the old inner agreements begin to loosen. The promises you once made to stay small. To stay safe, to stay acceptable. They are dissolving softly, like mist under a rising sun. Stay with me a little longer, the deepest shift is coming. In the quiet moments, when no one is watching, this change does not feel heroic. It feels tender. Vulnerable. It feels like standing at the edge of a thought you've never allowed yourself to finish. A thought that begins with, "What if I didn't limit myself anymore," and ends in silence, because silence is where courage is born. Allow yourself to sink deeper. Truth is unfolding gently. There is an inner battle few ever speak of. Not between success and failure, but between familiarity and faith. Familiarity knows your name. It knows your habits. It knows exactly how to keep you comfortable. Faith, on the other hand, asks you to walk without proof, to trust a vision before it exists, to move before the ground feels solid. And this is where comfort tightens its grip, not out of cruelty, but out of habit. If your heart is beginning to recognize this, don't turn away now. You may notice a subtle grief arising. A sadness for the years you almost lived. For the ideas you tucked away. For the versions of you that waited patiently while you chose what was easier. This grief is not meant to weigh you down. It is meant to empty you, so something truer can move in. Breathe into that space. To think beyond limits requires surrender before strategy. First, you must let go of who you believed you had to be in order to belong. The obedient self. The cautious self. The self that measured worth by comfort rather than by contribution. You were never meant to fit neatly into the life you inherited. Hold this knowing close. Those who expand consciousness, those who bend the future, often feel alone before they feel aligned. Because the mind resists what the soul already knows. The mind asks for guarantees. The soul asks for permission. And permission is what you are giving yourself right now. The moment everything connects is almost here. Notice how your inner language begins to change. "I can't" softens into "what if." Fear transforms into focus. Restlessness becomes resolve. This is not force. This is alignment finding its voice. You are not pushing forward. You are being pulled inward, toward truth. And truth has a cost, but it also has a promise. The cost is comfort as an identity. The promise is expansion as a way of life. Let that promise echo. You were never meant to live numb. You were meant to feel alive at the edge of your capacity, where growth hums quietly and potential finally has room to breathe. Remain present with this realization. Because in the next unfolding, you will see how this inner fire, once honored, begins to reshape the outer world in ways that feel almost inevitable. My beloved child. Breathe in this moment, truth is arriving. And it comes softly now, not as a command, but as a quiet recognition you can no longer unfeel. Hold this divine silence, understanding is blooming now. There is a stillness that only appears after surrender. Not the surrender of defeat, but the surrender of clarity. The moment you stop negotiating with your smaller self. The moment you stop asking comfort for permission to grow. This is where the unseen work begins. Those who truly rise do so long before the world notices. In private mornings. In silent evenings. In choices no one applauds. They sacrifice the right to be constantly entertained. They step away from the noise that numbs awareness. They choose depth when distraction would be easier. Ask yourself gently, when was the last time you chose silence over stimulation? Truth over reassurance? If something sacred is awakening within you, remain here just a little deeper. Comfort loves noise because noise prevents listening. And listening is dangerous. Because once you hear your own soul clearly, you can no longer pretend you didn't know. You can no longer unknow the path calling you forward. This is why the inner shift feels so intimate now. True transformation does not announce itself. It whispers. It asks you to sit with uncertainty without reaching for escape. It asks you to release identities that once kept you safe but now keep you small. It asks you to trust timing without seeing the full design. And yes, it costs something. It costs convenience. It costs the illusion of control. It costs the comfort of blending in. But what it gives you in return is immeasurable. The revelation that shifts everything is drawing closer. Notice how your inner world has become quieter. Not empty, focused. Not lonely, aligned. This is the space where vision forms. This is where long-term thinkers are shaped. This is where those who alter trajectories learn to wait patiently, and then move decisively. They do not rush. They do not panic. They prepare in stillness. You're on the threshold of true seeing, stay with me. The unseen sacrifices are rarely dramatic. They look like consistency when motivation fades. Integrity when shortcuts appear. Curiosity when certainty would feel safer. These are the quiet disciplines that comfort cannot teach, but purpose demands. And now, you are learning them. If you're feeling the divine current flowing through these words, leave a dove or a quiet, "I receive," in the comments. Your presence strengthens this light. Let that gesture be gentle, a signal to yourself that you are listening. Because destiny responds to those who listen deeply. The missing piece your soul has sought is almost here. You are beginning to understand that potential is not something you chase, it is something you uncover. Layer by layer. Choice by choice. Silence by silence. And once uncovered, it cannot be returned to sleep. This is why the pull feels stronger now. This is why comfort feels thinner. This is why your awareness is sharpening. You are no longer preparing to begin. You are preparing to commit. Remain in this quiet power just a moment longer. Because what unfolds next will show you how this inner alignment becomes outer impact, and why the world responds differently when you finally choose growth over ease. My beloved child, the eternal flame within you is flickering brighter, and as it grows, it illuminates a truth you have always sensed but never fully named. Breathe with me, the divine unveiling deepens now. There comes a point when effort softens into alignment. When striving loosens its grip and a quieter force takes over. This is the hidden rhythm the world rarely sees. The most effective movement is born from stillness, and the most powerful decisions arise from listening rather than pushing. If your spirit is trembling with recognition, stay in this holy moment. True surrender is not collapse. It is consent. Consent to be guided by something wiser than habit. Consent to let timing reveal itself without your constant interference. Consent to trust that you do not need to exhaust yourself to prove your worth. This is where comfort finally releases you. Not because you rejected it, but because you outgrew it. The truth that liberates everything is almost within reach. Those who live aligned do not announce their faith. They practice it privately. In the way they return to the work when no one is watching. In the way they protect their focus like a sanctuary. In the way they say no to what drains them, even when it looks attractive on the surface. They are not driven by urgency. They are anchored in clarity. Pause here. Notice how your breath has changed since these words began. Notice the softening. The resolve. The sense that something within you has settled into place. This is not motivation rising and falling. This is orientation changing. You are closer to home than you've ever been, do not leave yet. The hidden alignment is this: when you release the need to be comfortable, you gain the capacity to be present. Presence sharpens intuition. Intuition refines choice. Choice shapes destiny. This sequence is ancient, precise, and unwavering. And now, it is active within you. There is a sacred patience forming in your chest. A willingness to wait without doubting. To move without rushing. To build without burning yourself out. This patience is not passive. It is strategic calm. It is faith with structure. Let it settle. The world often mistakes noise for momentum. But momentum that lasts is quiet. It gathers energy invisibly. It compounds through small, faithful actions repeated with devotion. This is why the most enduring outcomes begin long before anyone notices. And you are beginning that phase now. The final alignment your soul has waited for is gathering. You may feel a tenderness toward yourself you haven't felt before. Compassion replacing pressure. Curiosity replacing fear. This is not weakness. This is maturity of spirit. The kind that allows you to take bold steps without self-violence. Remember this truth, and let it echo. You do not need to fight your way forward. You need to align your way forward. You need to listen, and then move. Remain in this profound stillness just a little longer. Because what is forming now will soon ask for expression. And when it does, you will recognize the moment, not by urgency, but by peace paired with power. What comes next is not louder. It is clearer. And clarity changes everything. My beloved child. Something you've always known is finally being spoken, not from outside you, but from the deepest chamber of your own awareness. Breathe slowly, because this layer asks for honesty without armor. Up to now, you have felt the inner alignment forming. The stillness. The clarity. But here is the truth few are prepared to face: once you see clearly, you are no longer free to live unconsciously. Awareness is a sacred responsibility. It does not rush you. But it does not release you either. If your soul feels alert, remain here, this passage matters. There is a quiet courage required at this stage. Not the courage to begin, but the courage to continue when novelty fades. When comfort tries to re-enter disguised as balance. When the old life gently invites you back, saying, "You've grown enough." And this is where destiny separates from potential. Potential feels exciting. Destiny feels committed. Hold this truth gently. Those who truly shape the future are not constantly inspired. They are devoted. Devoted to a vision that no longer needs external validation. Devoted to a rhythm that feels right even when it feels slow. Devoted to growth that is measured in depth, not applause. This devotion is quiet, almost invisible. You may notice fewer people understand you now. Not because you are distant, but because your frequency has changed. Your conversations deepen. Your tolerance for surface noise thins. Your intuition grows louder than opinions. This is not isolation. This is refinement. Stay present, the meaning is sharpening. At this stage, comfort no longer looks like rest. It looks like distraction. Like filling silence with noise. Like avoiding the one task that matters most. And you are learning to recognize it instantly, without judgment, without drama. You simply return to alignment. This is mastery beginning to take shape. The inner question now shifts from, "Can I do this?" to, "Will I honor what I know?" And honoring what you know often means choosing the long path. The patient path. The path where results compound quietly before they ever reveal themselves. Let that sink in. You are learning to trust invisible progress. To respect seeds before sprouts. To stay consistent without emotional reward. This is the discipline comfort could never teach you, because comfort thrives on immediacy, while destiny unfolds through time. There is a calm strength settling into your spine now. Notice it. It is the strength of someone who no longer needs permission. Someone who does not announce their next move. Someone who understands that energy speaks louder than explanation. You are becoming dependable to your own soul. Remain here a moment longer. Because the next unfolding will ask you to translate this inner alignment into deliberate action. Not frantic action. Not forceful action. But precise movement. Guided by clarity, anchored in patience, protected from distraction. You are not being pushed toward the future. You are being prepared to carry it. And when the moment arrives, and it will, you will not hesitate. Not because you are fearless, but because you are certain. That certainty is forming now. Let it form. My beloved child. The hidden current beneath everything is guiding you now, steady, deliberate, unmistakable. Listen into this quiet momentum. There comes a phase where preparation ends and embodiment begins. Where the inner work no longer feels like effort, but like gravity. You don't have to remind yourself who you are becoming, you simply act from it. This is the moment when comfort loses its final disguise. Because now, you can feel the difference. Comfort pulls you sideways. Purpose pulls you forward. If your awareness is sharpening, remain with me, the pattern is revealing itself. You may notice your decisions becoming simpler, even as their impact grows. You no longer overthink every step. You sense what aligns and what drains you almost instantly. This is not impulsiveness. This is coherence. Your inner world is finally speaking the same language as your outer actions. And coherence is power. Pause here. The unseen transformation at this stage is subtle but profound. You stop negotiating with distractions. You stop romanticizing ease. You stop postponing what matters most. Not through force, but through clarity. Clarity makes excuses unnecessary. This is why your energy feels cleaner now. There is also a sacred humility that arrives here. You recognize how much there still is to learn, and instead of discouraging you, it steadies you. You become teachable again. Curious again. Open again. Growth accelerates when pride dissolves. Stay present, the meaning is deepening. Those who shape enduring outcomes learn to respect boredom. They stay with the work when it feels repetitive. They refine details others overlook. They practice when there is no thrill, only intention. This is not glamour. This is devotion translated into action. And devotion compounds. Notice how your relationship with time is changing. Urgency loosens. Patience strengthens. You are no longer rushing toward a finish line, you are building a foundation that can hold weight. This shift alone protects you from burnout and from the hollow victories comfort loves to offer. Hold this awareness gently. There may be moments when doubt visits again. Not loudly, but softly. A question like, "Is this worth it?" When that happens, remember, doubt is not a sign you are off track. It is a sign you are far enough along to matter. Comfort avoids doubt by staying shallow. Purpose walks through doubt to gain depth. Let that truth settle. You are now acting from a deeper yes. A yes that doesn't need applause. A yes that doesn't depend on immediate results. A yes that comes from alignment rather than pressure. This is where momentum becomes inevitable. Remain with this feeling a little longer. Because the next unfolding will reveal how this inner coherence begins to bend circumstances in your favor, not through control, but through resonance. Opportunities will recognize you. Doors will respond to your readiness. Not all at once, but unmistakably. You are no longer chasing outcomes. You are becoming someone outcomes seek. And that shift, that quiet, powerful shift, is what comfort could never give you. Stay here in this steadiness. What approaches next will show you how to steward this power wisely, so what you build lasts, grows, and serves something far greater than ease alone. My beloved child, the unseen door is opening as you listen, and what waits beyond it is not louder effort, but truer direction. Stay very still for a breath. At this stage, life begins to answer you differently. Not because you demand more, but because you resonate more clearly. The world responds to coherence. When your inner decisions align, circumstances reorganize with surprising precision. This is not coincidence. This is calibration. If your intuition feels unusually sharp, remain present, the alignment is maturing. You may notice that opportunities no longer excite you the way they once did. Instead, they feel right or not right. The thrill fades, and discernment replaces it. This is a sacred upgrade. Excitement is fleeting. Alignment endures. Comfort chased pleasure. Purpose chooses precision. Let that distinction land. There is also a quiet pruning happening now. Old desires lose their charge. Certain ambitions soften or fall away entirely. This is not loss, it is refinement. What remains begins to feel essential, almost inevitable. You are not doing less. You are doing what matters. Pause in this knowing. Those who reach this phase understand something few articulate: energy must be protected before it can be multiplied. They stop explaining themselves to those who cannot hear. They stop scattering attention. They build containers strong enough to hold long-term vision. This is why your boundaries feel firmer now, and calmer. If your heart senses this shift, stay with me, the deeper order is revealing itself. You are learning to move without friction. Not because the path is easy, but because resistance inside you has dissolved. When inner conflict ends, progress accelerates naturally. This is why effort feels lighter even when responsibility increases. Notice how trust is replacing control. You prepare carefully, then release outcomes. You act fully, then allow results to unfold. This balance is rare. It is the signature of mature creators, leaders, and builders of lasting things. Hold that truth gently. There is a spiritual intelligence guiding you now that does not rush. It sees farther than urgency. It values sustainability over speed. It whispers, build something that can carry weight. And you are listening. Comfort would have asked, what feels good right now? Alignment asks, what will still matter later? That question is shaping your future. Remain present with this awareness. You may feel a growing sense of inevitability. Not arrogance, not certainty of outcome, but certainty of direction. Even when details are unclear, the compass holds steady. This steadiness is the real reward of leaving comfort behind. It cannot be shaken easily. You are no longer proving anything. You are expressing something true. And truth has momentum. Stay here just a little longer. Because the next unfolding will show you how this resonance begins to amplify outward. How your presence alone starts to influence rooms, conversations, and outcomes without effort or force. You are approaching the stage where alignment becomes impact. Quietly. Naturally. Powerfully. And what comes next will teach you how to hold that impact with humility, clarity, and care, so it serves not only you, but something far greater than comfort ever could. My beloved child. Feel this gentle pull deeper into truth. Because what is awakening now is not ambition, but responsibility infused with love. Stay very present. At this stage, something profound shifts inside you. You begin to sense that your growth is no longer only about you. The clarity you've earned carries weight. The steadiness you embody sends signals. The way you move through the world quietly teaches others what is possible without you ever saying a word. This is the moment when potential turns outward. If your heart feels both expanded and humbled, remain here, this is the mark of readiness. Those who reach this level realize a sacred truth: influence is not claimed, it is entrusted. It arrives naturally when inner alignment becomes consistent. People feel it. Spaces respond to it. Systems subtly reorganize around it. And comfort cannot survive here. Comfort seeks ease for the self. Purpose accepts responsibility for impact. Let that land. You may notice a new sensitivity emerging. Not weakness, awareness. You feel the effect of your choices more clearly now. What you consume. What you tolerate. What you postpone. Everything echoes louder because your inner world is quieter. This sensitivity is a gift. Pause and breathe. Here is the hidden discipline few discuss. Once alignment deepens, you must choose integrity repeatedly, even when shortcuts tempt you with speed. Even when praise arrives early. Even when comfort tries to return wearing the mask of efficiency. This is where true stewardship begins. Stay with me, the meaning is crystallizing. Those who build what lasts learn to move slowly enough to see consequences before they arrive. They value sustainability over spectacle. They understand that how something is built determines what it becomes. You are learning to see that now. There is also a new form of courage forming, the courage to disappoint expectations that are misaligned. To say no without explanation. To remain steady when others rush. This courage protects your future more than any clever strategy ever could. Let this courage settle into you. You are beginning to trust the long arc. To measure success not by immediate reward, but by enduring contribution. This perspective changes how you work, how you rest, how you decide. And it simplifies everything. Notice how your inner compass has become non-negotiable. When something feels off, you do not rationalize it away. When something feels right, you commit fully. This clarity saves energy. It sharpens focus. It accelerates progress without strain. Remain present with this realization. You are no longer asking, how do I get more? You are asking, how do I serve what I'm becoming? That question is sacred. And when it guides you, comfort loses its power entirely. Because now, ease without meaning feels empty. And challenge with purpose feels alive. Stay here just a moment longer. What approaches next will reveal how this responsibility, once accepted, begins to refine your leadership, not as authority over others, but as coherence that others instinctively trust. You are stepping into a phase where your presence carries consequence. And that is when destiny starts moving faster than comfort ever could. My beloved child. The deepest truth is rising to meet you now, and as it does, everything you've sensed along the way settles into a single, unmistakable knowing. Breathe, and let this final alignment arrive. You see it clearly now, comfort was never the enemy. It was the signal. The signal that you had stayed long enough in one version of yourself. The signal that your spirit was ready to graduate from ease into meaning. And you listened. What stands before you now is not a dramatic ending, but a quiet beginning. A beginning rooted in awareness. In choice. In devotion to becoming rather than remaining. Stay with this moment. The greatest shift was never external. It was the moment you stopped asking life to make you comfortable, and started asking it to make you true. From that question, everything else followed naturally. Discipline softened into devotion. Effort refined into focus. Pressure transformed into purpose. This is the culmination. You are no longer waiting to feel ready. You are no longer seeking permission. You are no longer negotiating with comfort. You have made peace with growth. Let that peace expand. The future now responds to you differently because you respond to yourself differently. You trust the quiet yes inside you. You honor the long path. You move with patience that outlasts doubt and clarity that outlives fear. This is what it means to live awake. Comfort once kept you safe. Awareness now keeps you aligned. And alignment is unstoppable. Pause here. Notice how there is no urgency in you anymore, only direction. No noise, only signal. No need to prove. Only to express. This is the state from which lasting impact is born. Not forcefully. Not loudly. But inevitably. You are not chasing a future. You are inhabiting one. The world will feel this. Not all at once. Not dramatically. But steadily. Through the consistency of your actions. Through the integrity of your choices. Through the calm strength of someone who knows why they move the way they do. This is how legacies are built. Let this final truth anchor you. Your potential was never stolen. It was protected, until you were ready to claim it. And now, you have. Remain in this knowing as you step forward. Let comfort return only as rest, never as a residence. Let ease support you, never define you. Let growth remain your language, and alignment your guide. You are exactly where you are meant to be. And from here, everything you build will carry meaning.